Philip to Evelyn, 24 April 1945. Dearest darling, yesterday I started work at headquarters. At the end of the day, I was mighty glad to remember that it is only a temporary detail of perhaps 2 weeks' duration. It is a tedious, monotonous procedure, and as tiring mentally as the heaviest labor physically. At any rate, when finished, I was in no mood for anything but the sack. Before turning in, though, I promised myself I would write a real, honest-to-goodness on the morrow to make up for the V-mail I missed writing. That is why, for the first time in a long time, this. Today, if anything, was even tougher than yesterday, except for one fact. I received 4 of your letters at once. They were your airmail letter of 4 April and your V-mails of 14, 15, 16. There isn't much of anything that is new or startling in your letters, sweet, but I was rather surprised that you took the death of the president so much to heart. I didn't know you thought so much of him until now. However, I do admire your judgment and can appreciate your sense of loss. He was a great and good man. Humanity lost a great friend and supporter with his passing. God knows what might have happened to our United States if he hadn't happened along in 1932 to pull us out of the doldrums. Let us hope that our new president is a worthy successor. I don't know very much about President Truman, but from the little I do know, I have every hope that he will live up to FDR's high ideals. Was glad to learn that our pumpkin is over the worst of the scarlet fever immunizations. She's a brave little lady. Tell her how very proud her daddy is of her. You say something about visiting Lauriston. Does that mean you mean to have your own photo made, sweet? I certainly hope so. Yes, I remember that Mom often spoke of Mrs. Garfinkel, although I have only a very dim recollection of her. The name suggests to my mind's eye a rather buxom lady with a beautiful head of black wavy hair. But I may be thinking of someone else. I don't know. You might check with Mom. I'll bet Mom was all thrilled about it, though. She always spoke of wanting to meet her again with such wistful longing. By the way, I forgot to mention, as I meant to, that Mom's top coat, the one she wears in the snapshot, is very smart-looking and attractive. Well, Chippy, there is remarkably little to write about these days. Of course, if I were permitted to repeat the rumors that are floating around the base, I could write all night. But since I can't, I'll only tell you the only thing I can think of at the moment. I adore you, Evie, darling. My dearest love to Adele, and always your Phil. April 24th, 1945, Jack Nierenberg to Evelyn. Dear Evelyn, I don't know of anything nicer to tell you than that I am now married. I don't know of any excuse to offer for not having called you on the phone to tell you about it except this. You would have gotten all tied up in an effort to meet my bride had I told you of it. In some future time that will take place, and it may be nicer because Phil will be there too. Please understand that I didn't forget about you, merely that the many times I started to phone you, something stopped me. This is the first time I've put it into some definite thought, even to myself. Anyway, if you think I need to be forgiven, please do so. If not, you've agreed with my definite feeling of above and then the intangible feeling that followed. I sort of feel that you'll agree with me. I hope so. Friday the 13th. We were married in Arlington, in her home. It was a lovely wedding. A minister performed the service. The house was all decorated with beautiful flowers, and it made a lovely setting. We spent a rapture-filled 5 days in New York, and now we're back at our jobs, lonesome as ever. Her people have treated me grandly, and it's made us both happy, because we were quite anxious about that part of it all. I expect to get situated in a short while. When I do, she'll leave her job if it seems my situation is fairly permanent in the Army. I know this is a skimpy letter, but I'll bet I'll write a longer one if you ask me a bunch of questions. So go right ahead and I'll answer every one of them. Fair deal? I wonder if you could send that letter you spoke of, the one after Phil's visit on furlough in a London suburb. Hell, I don't get any mail from him. I may as well read yours. You could guarantee its safety by registering it, and I'll do the same on returning it. I hope you're all well, and that sometime soon we can all be together. All my love, Jackie.